From sound isolated excavator cabs to sound suppressed hydraulic breakers, from ear defenders worn by individual workers to sound monitoring systems covering an entire site. As an industry, we are very, very good at managing and mitigating noise. Unfortunately for those working within it, however, the industry has also become very adept at maintaining silence. The studied silence from companies and trade bodies in the aftermath of an accident or fatality. Silence over safety fears. Silence in response to concerns over drug and alcohol abuse on site. Silence when someone speaks up about stress, on site bullying, or even abuse. Nobody bloody listens. That's the truth of it. You can be standing there on site pointing out a hazard that's as plain as day, and the people in charge will nod, maybe scribble something on a clipboard, and then carry on as if you never said a word. You can flag a scaffold that's dodgy, a trench that looks ready to cave in, or a machine that's working way too close to people and where they're walking. And all you'll get is a shrug and, yeah, yeah, we'll deal with that later. Later. As if that will be of any use to the bloke that ends up in A&E. And that's the problem, isn't it? The suits and the clipboard brigade love to talk about safety. Toolbox talks, posters, endless bloody paperwork, entire mornings wasted filling out forms that nobody's read. But when the real issues are raised by the boots on the ground, by the people who actually see the risks before anyone else, suddenly it's radio silence. Suddenly it's stop moaning or just crack on. They treat the people who are keeping the whole operation afloat like background noise. That's not just ignorance, it's negligence dressed up as leadership. And let's not pretend we can't all see the elephant on site. Drugs and alcohol. You can feel it, you can see it. And yes, sometimes you can smell it. It's there. Everyone knows it's there. But the management, they'd rather stick their heads in the sand, pretend it doesn't exist, because they know they can't afford to lose half their workforce. And on the rare occasions they do acknowledge it, it's with some half baked random testing program designed to scare people rather than to actually deal with the root causes. They don't want to ask why it happens, why people under stress and under pressure, under relentless deadlines, reach for a bottle just to get through. They don't want to face the truth that when you push people to the edge, some of them will look for a way to cope. They'll look for a crutch. No one's excusing it, but ignoring it, pretending it doesn't exist, that's worse. That makes it more dangerous for everyone. And don't get me started on inefficiency either. How many times have you stood around wasting time because a decision got stuck in an office somewhere? How many days lost because deliveries or fuel never turned up, or permits weren't signed, or management couldn't be bothered to coordinate properly? You look around and see machines sitting idle, blokes twiddling their thumbs, money burning away by the hour, and it's so bloody obvious what needs to change. The people on site could tell you in 5 minutes how to save thousands, how to shave days off the job. But do the decision makers ask? No, of course they don't. Because apparently it's easier to waste time and money than to admit people with 20 years' experience digging trenches or operating machines might actually know what they're talking about. And bullying. Don't tell me it doesn't still happen, because it does. We all know it does. Sometimes it's blatant, someone shouting, humiliating, throwing their weight around. Sometimes it's quieter, more poisonous, giving someone the worst jobs, cutting them out, laughing behind their back. And when anyone dares to speak up, when someone says, hang on, that's not right, they get told it's just banter, just banter. But banter doesn't leave people broken. Banter doesn't push people out of the industry. Banter doesn't destroy someone's confidence day after day. That's bullying, plain and simple. But try raising it and you'll be labeled a troublemaker, someone who can't hack it. And so people shut up, they swallow it, and the cycle goes on. And through all of this, stress builds. It builds and it builds and it builds until it cracks people open. And what do they get from management when they finally reach the end of their rope? A poster in the canteen about Mental Health Awareness Week, a free pen with the helpline number, maybe a well meaning speech from someone who's never actually worked a shift on site in their life, telling everyone to speak up as if that doesn't come with consequences. It's tokenism, nothing more. It's pretending to care without doing a damn thing to make anything better. Because when someone does speak up, when someone says they're not coping, that they need help, they're met with the same silence, the same indifference. In the worst cases, they're actually punished for it. The truth nobody wants to say out loud is this: this industry runs on the backs of its workers, but it refuses to hear their voices. The people who actually make the jobs happen, who risk their necks every single day, they're treated like they're expendable, like they don't know anything. Decisions are made far away by people who have never set foot on a site, people who wouldn't know the first thing about working a shift in the mud and the rain. And yet those are the voices that carry the most weight. Those are the voices that apparently matter, but they don't want to listen, because listening means being accountable. Listening means admitting that the people in the trenches, on the machines, under the scaffold, actually see more, know more, and care more than the ones in charge. Listening means they might have to change something, and change is hard, isn't it? It's much easier to nod along and carry on regardless. And that's one of the many reasons I'm perpetually angry, because I see it and you see it. You live it every single day, and still it gets brushed aside. I'm not ranting at you, I'm ranting for you, because I'm sick of watching the same cycle repeat, sick of watching people being ignored, sick of watching the suits play their games while the workers pay the price. And if nothing changes, the hazards stay, the waste stays, the bullying stays, the stress stays, and the silence stays. And that's the part that really eats away at me. We've all spent so long shouting into the void without a response that many have just stopped shouting. They have become a part of the silence.